Chapter 1, 101, 6th year, New Normal. Mid-December 1976. After that, it happened often. He never initiated it. He didn't need to. Sirius came to him. Remus would find himself pulled into an empty classroom or their shared bathroom. Once or twice Sirius even crept quietly into Remus's bed, casting a silencing spell before forcing his shoulders down and running his hands over Remus's body, quaking with desire. Never under the covers, though. That would be queer. He would scurry out as soon as it was over. It almost always happened in a hurry. Remus knew that this was partly the shame of it. But he also knew that it was because they both just needed it so badly. When they were together, their bodies buzzed with the want for each other. No two times were the same. Sometimes they could be confident and bold. Other times they were shy, and one needed encouragement from the other. Sometimes it wasn't even about getting off, and they were limited to just kissing, or at least Sirius's idea of kissing, which was brutal, fierce, and thankless. Remus's lips felt scorched, burned raw for days and days. Afterwards they didn't talk about it, but, if time permitted, sat apart from each other and invariably shared a cigarette, silent until they were ready to fall slowly back into their usual jokey banter. Remus felt at those times that Sirius probably would have preferred to be with someone else, a girlfriend, or, even worse, James. "I'm not the one he wants," Remus told himself pitifully. "I'm just the one that's here." The worst part was that he knew that it was enough. If Sirius only ever came to him in darkness and silence, then so be it. It was better than going without, that someone like me gets to have someone like him. He had to share, of course, whether it was Sirius's desire to hide what was going on, or he was simply unable to stay committed to one person. After Avni there were others. A parade of pretty, bright, cheerful girls, Florence and Daisy and Tessa and Eunice. Remus didn't think any of these trysts were serious, and in the beginning at least, he didn't begrudge Sirius his fun. "I never asked for anything more," he told himself. And Remus liked it being private. He had never been someone who liked attention, and he thought that even if it was a given that whatever he and Sirius were doing was no different to what Sirius did with any of the girls he got attached to, then Remus would probably still prefer that James and Peter did not know. Maybe he could have told them about Grant one day, eventually, but not Sirius. It was too complicated. He liked knowing that he and Sirius could be in a room full of people, and no one had a clue what they had been doing only the night before, or even 2 hours earlier. He liked getting away with it. He liked seeing Sirius with a girl and thinking, never mind, later he belongs to me. He was allowed to be happy after all. He was allowed to have something all for himself, especially as, in other areas in Remus's life, doors were closing and things were being taken away. There was another werewolf attack during the December moon, which fell early in the month that year. Witnesses described more than one creature. They were working as a pack. The ministry was placed on high alert, and the whole school was talking about it. The marauders didn't bring it up around Remus, not even Sirius. He couldn't blame them. He'd have bitten their head off if anyone had tried to sympathize or be kind about it. Still, he had to put up with everyone else, every other student in the school who had taken to wearing silver jewelry or talking about the best way to fend off a wolf attack. He overheard one 5th year telling anyone who would listen in the dining hall one evening,
"Keep them locked up, away from normal people."
"Why can't they tag them?"
Avni whispered the next afternoon when she, Sirius, Remus, Peter and Lily were watching the Gryffindor Quidditch team practice.
"I mean, there's already a registry, and they can trace underage wizards. Why not put a trace on dangerous animals? It doesn't make sense."
"They're not animals,"
Lily hissed through gritted teeth.
"They're people."
Remus kept his eyes on the pitch. So did Sirius.
"Tell that to the Mondays,"
Avni replied, straightening her skirt and giving Lily a superior look.
"Tell that to this latest poor family."
She shuffled closer to Sirius on the bench, hugging his arm.
"Sirius, darling, I'm cold."
"Go in then."
He grunted, shaking her off, eyes still on James, shouting something at his keeper.
"Excuse me?"
Avni frowned.
"You heard me."
Sirius replied, offhanded.
"Piss off."
None of them saw much of Avni after that, but it didn't stop other people talking. Remus had to disband his study group early because they all wanted to know if he could recommend any good books on half-breeds and defense against dark creatures. In the end, all he could do was tell them to talk to the defense against the dark arts teacher, and if they didn't want help with actual schoolwork, then they may as well leave him alone. Lily found Remus working late that night in the common room trying to catch up on the work he'd missed while in the hospital wing after the moon. He was exhausted and sore and extremely prickly, but she came over and sat beside him anyway, resting a head on his shoulder, an arm around his back. She smelled nice and gave him a gentle squeeze, sighing softly against his collarbone. She didn't speak, but Remus would always be grateful for that. In mid-December, matters worsened. Remus received 2 letters.
Dear Remus, I hope that your 6th year is going well. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but as you may already know, there was an attack during last night's full moon. Remus rolled his eyes at this. Why did adults always think that teenagers didn't read the news, especially when they were in the middle of a war and it concerned them directly? I have no doubt that Professor McGonagall will be speaking to you soon, but I thought I would get in touch. I have been talking to Alastair Moody, who is concerned for your safety. He tells me that you stay with the Potters every year at Christmas. The Potters are excellent people, and I know that James is a close friend, but, Remus, they cannot be relied upon to protect you. They would do everything they could, of this I have no doubt, but my feeling is that if Greyback attempted to track you down, then the only place he could not find you would be Hogwarts. I am not telling you what to do, of course, but I am begging you to consider your own safety and the safety of those around you. Best wishes, El Ferox.
Well, Ferox was quite clearly telling him what to do, even if he was just passing on instructions from Moody. Remus's heart sank when he finished reading this letter, but there was worse to come.
Mr. Lupin, it has come to our attention that upon your 17th birthday next year, you will be of legal age as defined by your society. While the law of the United Kingdom states that you are still a child, we have been informed that your circumstances override this legislation. As of 10th March 1977, you will no longer be under the care of St. Edmund's Boys Reformatory. Any items or financial assets held in trust for you will be returned to you no later than 30 working days following this date. There should be no need for you to return to the premises. We wish you the very best in your future endeavours. Sincerely, Mrs. J. Orwell.
Fuck. Remus read this letter only once, then shoved it down into the very bottom of his trunk. He couldn't think about that now. He told the Marauders about the first letter, omitting the Greyback details, of course. He had to. There was no other way to explain why he could not come to London for Christmas. More time for homework, he told himself. He mightn't be the only student staying. The 7th years with NEWTs coming up might stick around to take advantage of an empty common room. He could probably enjoy quite a pleasant Christmas in the library if he wanted to. Plus, a Hogwarts Christmas dinner was nothing to turn your nose up at.
It's not bloody fair,
James ranted when he heard,
"You're no danger to anyone. The full moon isn't until the new year."
"It's the pack thing, though," Remus replied, loosening his tie and flopping down on the bed. It had been a very long day of lessons, and he had at least 3 hours of homework ahead of him. "They're worried I'll get captured or join up or something."
I thought Ferox liked you.
Sirius frowned, dropping his book bag carelessly in the middle of the room.
He ought to know you'd never join them.
"He does know," Remus said, "but he thinks they might force me or... Well, none of us really know what might happen if I met another one." James, Peter and Sirius exchanged an uncomfortable look. Remus pulled off his itchy school jumper to give them a moment to think about it. When he resurfaced, his hair fizzing with static, he gave them his biggest grin. "It's fine anyway. I really don't mind. It'll be great to have some peace and quiet. I'm looking forward to a Christmas break from you lot." James chuckled and shook his head. He grabbed his maroon Quidditch duffel bag.
None of us believe you, Mooney. Right, I've got practice, then an hour for homework, then patrolling with Evans.
Anyone else might have reeled off this list of obligations with a weary air of martyrdom, but James looked as though he was having the best day of his life.
Fancy it, Black?
Nah, you're all right, Prongs.
Sirius shook his head. He hadn't stopped looking at Remus since he'd unbuttoned his school shirt.
You go on. I'll get a head start on that Charms homework.
Yeah, right.
James smirked.
Who is it tonight? Florence again. See you.
He clattered down the stairs, whistling a chirpy tune. Sirius turned to Peter.
You go and watch him then, Pete, if you fancy.
No.
Peter shook his head. He looked worryingly comfortable sitting on his bed, leaning against the headboard with his Charms notes scattered before him.
Oh, right. You're probably seeing Desi?
Nope.
He shook his head, licking the end of his quill nib.
She's got patrol tonight, and she says we need to get serious about our studies, now we're new T students. Can I do my homework with you two?
Remus and Sirius looked at each other. Sirius raised an eyebrow. Remus shrugged. Sirius got up.
I tell you what, I forgot to return that book to the library. Better go and... Oh, Mooney, while I'm at it, wasn't there another book you told me I should...
Oh, right, yeah. Remus jumped up too, struggling into a clean woolen jumper.
It's a complicated title. I'd better help you find it.
Oh, do you want to relocate to the library then?
Peter asked, finally looking up from his notes.
No point,
Sirius said, as they both bolted for the door.
Won't take long.
Won't take long,
Remus muttered, on the stairs.
I had to say something.
They made it through the common room without interference, but once they were outside in the halls, they were a bit lost.
What about the 4th floor girls?
No,
Remus snapped.
Fine. Charm's classroom is free, I think. On Fridays, Flitwick finishes early and there aren't any clubs.
How do you know that?
Oh, shut up and follow me.
Sirius smirked. They put a basic alarm spell on the door and shoved a desk in front of it for good measure. But Friday afternoons were typically pretty safe. Everyone wanted to pretend the classrooms didn't exist. Afterwards, they redressed, smoothed their hair, and sat on Flitwick's desk, smoking.
We're going to actually have to go to the library now,
Remus said, blowing a chain of rings.
Nah.
Sirius shook his head.
Just say they didn't have it in.
Well, that would be fine. Except I was actually planning to do my charms essay this evening.
Sirius rolled his beautiful eyes and tossed his beautiful hair. Remus fought the urge to sigh. The classroom was the same side of the castle as the Quidditch pitch. They could hear the faint but shrill sound of James's captain whistle somewhere below them. Sirius exhaled smoke, wistfully. Remus wondered how much he missed playing Quidditch. He wondered if he ought to ask, or whether that would be too much.
Mooney, are you definitely not coming for Christmas?
Yeah, I've got to trust Ferox. He knows me. He knew my dad.
He knew your dad. You never told us.
I don't have to tell you lot everything.
Remus gave an irritated twitch, sucking hard on his cigarette.
He worked with him. We had a few chats about it, that's all.
Well, if you trust him, then.
I do.
Remus was aware of his tone, but did nothing to temper it.
Okay, I was just going to say...
Sirius swallowed.
Well, I mean, I could stay too. Over Christmas. At Hogwarts. If it's okay with you.
Oh.
Remus frowned, caught off guard, and turned to look at Sirius.
Do you want to?
You shouldn't be stuck all by yourself. James has his family. And Pete, if he gets really desperate.
Yeah. But won't they expect you? James's parents. They're mad about you.
He caught Sirius's smile at that, a brilliant flash of elation, which made Remus's heart beat faster.
They can have a Christmas as a family, for once, without me crashing in. Come on, Mooney. Don't want to share the common room with me? I'll be quiet, and let you study if that's what you really want.
He gave a coy smile, and Remus stubbed out his cigarette, leaned over and kissed him, hard. He still hadn't really got used to being able to do that.
As if,
he said, pulling away, revelling in the warm blush in Sirius's cheeks.